Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing A. Guerrero in the 5-minute pool on ICC. I'm going to play knight f6 against Mr. Guerrero. Haven't played this player before, so long as I recall. Let's go Nimzo Indian again. I had success with this yesterday. And, okay, I'll play b6. Knight f3 is a very flexible move. It's kind of a hybrid variation, so it works with a lot of approaches. I think h6 is probably a good option here. Expecting bishop h4. Now, I think I should take on c3 right now, because if I don't take on c3 right here, he might guard the c3 knight again, and I might not have that option. So, okay, how to play it now? d6 is probably indicated. Yeah, let's go d6. And he can't play e4 because I can play g5, and I'd be winning a pawn. So, yeah, f3 makes sense, preparing e4. I'll just go knight bd7. Maybe the knight would have been better off on c6, I'm not sure. But this is a typical way of playing this position. I think I'll go queen c7. Yeah, let's go queen c7, or queen e7 rather. My plan will be to play e5, more than likely, and then g5. And try to establish pawns on dark squares to restrict his dark square bishop. Standard move a4. I'm going to play a5 and stop him in his tracks. Don't want him to open the position up. So with rook b1, he might be menacing c5 at some point. So I should keep that in mind. I'm not going to be playing c5 myself. I'll play e5 as planned. The only thing about playing e5 is I weaken d5 and also f5, so he might sneak in like knight f1 to e3. I have to be heads up about that. Let's go g5 now. I'm expecting he'll play bishop f2. If bishop f2, I wonder if c5 is a more real threat, because he's added more emphasis to that. I'm thinking about knight h5. I'm thinking about bishop a6. I'm going to go knight h5 and try to put the knight on f4. Plays g3 to put a stop to that. Yeah, actually c5 is not a threat I can take. So that's fine. For that matter, what about castling on the queen side? Is it too risky here? f5, is that too crazy? f5 pawn takes, no follow-up. I could play c5 myself also. It's definitely a possibility. If I play c5 myself, how would that go? Knight f1, let's say? I think I'm going to go knight g7 and maybe open up options of f5 or h5. My knight wasn't doing anything on h5 anymore, so I'll be looking for pawn f5 or pawn h5. I still might go c5, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I want to take this way now. He goes d5, okay, that's interesting. So he's sacking a pawn, but he's going to try to get his knight to c4 next. It's an interesting way to handle it. I'd love to be able to put a knight on d6 right now. Obviously, I can't do that, so I'll just castle. He should probably play knight c4 immediately, because if he doesn't, I might be able to go like knight f6 to e8 and then stick the knight on d6, where it's just an excellent blockader. Okay, so here I could play f5, or I could do that plan I just mentioned with knight to f6. f5 looks pretty good too, though. No, I better do the plan that I was saying. Ooh, I wonder if knight c4, knight e8, d6 could still be played, though, because my pawn on b6 is weak at the end of that line. Okay, here he's going to try to play for f4. No doubt about it. Unmistakable. If he goes bishop e3, he's playing for f4 next move. So what am I going to do about that? Knight e8, f4. I could play f6. Solid, but passive. I got to pick up the pace, too. I could sack on d5. I get a bunch of pawns for it. That's actually really interesting. Let's do that. Okay, this is like a trend-breaking move. This is going to shake up the position quite a bit. But now I have 3 pawns for the piece, because I was up a pawn before I did this operation. And I'm attacking e3 and I'm attacking c3. So that's kind of what I like about this. Now I'm going to win his rook on b1, so I get plenty of material. Material-wise, this is great. However, his pieces can be somewhat active. Let's maybe jump this. I don't know if I care about the e5 pawn so much. I want to play for activity. I don't want to go f6. So I'm gonna put my knight on d4 next move if I'm allowed. The knight is the only piece that I'm really worried about, like, because that piece could come to e3 and like make its way into f5 or work with this queen to create mating threats. Otherwise, I'm liking my position because with so many pawns, that's not conducive to him having the bishop pair. His bishops don't have a lot of scope here. Maybe his light square bishop could be an issue because I have so many pawns on dark squares. But beyond that, looks good for me. Bishop d3 might be an option for him. I would seriously consider that move. If he goes bishop d3, I'll stick my knight on d4, though. My knight's bound for d4 on the next move in a lot of scenarios. Plays bishop f2. Yeah, knight d4. Attacking e2. Let's just go queen f6. He'll probably play king g2 against that, but if king g2, I'll play rook f8. Just to defend e5 a bit more and maybe go e4 or queen c6 even. I like the fact that he can't play bishop d3. He can't do that. Okay, so here, queen c6 looks tempting. e4, does e4 do anything? Let's go queen c6. Just trying to keep him tied down to f3. I am attacking a4 now. My knight covers b5. His knight can't do much. Like, that's kind of an empty threat, isn't it? What if I go h5? Ooh, he has knight b5 maybe. Or bishop b5, I mean. Yeah, he found it. It's actually an annoying move. Can I play queen takes f3? Maybe. That's like the only move he could have played to mix up the position. It's annoying because I allowed it. Let's go here. Ooh, he has rook takes e5. Yeah, bad decision by me. Not making some great moves here. Just some problems. Yeah. Let's take here. So I'm going to sack my queen. Try to take on f3 next. If he takes e6, I take on f3 with check. Maybe he has some troubles there, freeing himself. Wonder if he could play queen takes f3. Really, you're going to play that one? Okay. Gutsy call. Okay, well here, if he goes queen takes f3, I have g4.
Check.
Okay, so that was fortunate. That was a fortunate break by me. Here, he can't take it because I have rook e4 check was winning for me. So I'm just going to connect my pawns. He can't deal with all these pawns. Bring our rook to d2.
Check.
Yeah, this is over. Okay, well, I got lucky at the end there that he did not see g4 check. So he totally spaced on that move. Okay, well, let's take a look. You know, the Nimzo produces so many rich games, and this was one of them. This middle game was really interesting. So as I said, knight f3 is kind of a hybrid move. White stays flexible, and after b6, we reach a position that could be reached via a Queen's Indian move order as well. So if it had gone knight f3, b6, and then knight c3, bishop b4 is a good reply. So it's a kind of an amorphous setup. So b6 and then bishop g5, bishop b7, knight d2. And I think this is the appropriate time to capture on c3, because if I delay it for a move, like let's just say I castle, he can play queen c2 or rook c1 or something. And then if ever bishop takes c3, ideally for him, he's taking with his queen. So I think if I'm going to saddle his structure, okay, so I threw in h6. So if I'm going to saddle him with a weakened pawn structure, now is the time to take on c3. And then d6. I think I probably should not have developed my knight through d7 so quickly. Maybe I should have kept open knight c6 as an option. So I went knight d7. When I first learned the Nimzo Indian, like way back at the beginning of my chess career, I'm talking about like when I was basically a beginner, I saw a lot of examples where the knight comes to d7 rather than c6. So I think for some reason that is stuck in my head. And I always assume that in Nimzo positions, the queenside knight is going to d7, when in reality, many times it goes to c6. Because c6 is consistent with trying to attack the weak c4 pawn. So playing like knight a5 and then an eventual bishop a6. So I have to force myself to remember that. Queen e7, just a flexible move. a4, a5, rook b1. This is probably useful in that c5 will always be something I have to be concerned about with the undefended bishop. I played e5. So when I play e5, I do weaken f5 and d5, and I have to watch out for knight f1 to e3. Which, it would have been interesting for him to try right here. Let's just see what the computer likes in this position, but I wonder if knight here is a decent option. And if knight f4 just come here, and he's guarding g2 simultaneously, the engine seems to think he's better. I bet that the engine kind of overrates white's advantage a little bit in this position, because it likes the bishop pair and the space that white has. But black is so solid, and I've arranged all my pawns to compensate for the lack of a dark square bishop. So knight h5, g3. Yeah, maybe I should have castled queenside. And I had a feeling he wanted to go for c5, so that's why I didn't do that. And he did play c5, and I took, and then he went d5. It's an interesting pawn sacrifice. So if I could teleport one of my knights to d6, that would be perfect, because it would just be excellently placed on this square. It would assist me in playing f5. It would keep an eye on c4. It blocks his d-pawn. So, okay, so actually even here, so this is my plan, playing knight f6 and trying to go to e8 and then to d6. Oh, did I not realize that I could just use this knight if I wanted? That's a funny oversight. It didn't click with me that I could actually just move that knight to d6. It's kind of funny. Maybe that's because in this position, on e8, my king was just blocking my knight from coming to e8. But as soon as I castle, like, it didn't occur to me that I can now use that square. It's vacated. So castle and knight f6. Yeah, I thought maybe he would want to play knight c4 right now, and then after knight e8, play d6, because b6 is so weak. And if I take, he takes. Probably I take with the queen. Yeah, and this actually is already winning for him, according to the engine. There's so many weaknesses. Okay, rook f d8 is playable here. I can play an in-between move intending to take on d6 next. And bishop takes c5, b takes c5, rook takes b7, interesting line. And black stays afloat, but that was something for him to consider at least. Knight c4 with the intention of trying to force through d6 before I get my knight in here settled. But he played bishop e3. Yeah, and it looks like this bishop takes d5 idea was good. Oh, and I did play it here. Okay, so I didn't waste time centralizing a rook. I'd forgotten that I actually did it here. Okay. Yeah, and this was good too because he's all geared up to start attacking me, and he's looking forward to ripping open my king side and gaining a lot of compensation for the pawn. And when you hit him with this move, it completely changes the trend of the game. Like now he has to figure out how to defend. And he made the right call, knight c4, just pitching the c3 pawn in the exchange and trying to go for piece compensation with his minor pieces, but objectively this should be very good for black. It looks like I played it okay too. Knight d4. Probably right around here I just started making some suboptimal moves. This is all fine. Queen c6 wasn't so good, huh? e4. I guess queen c6 is okay. h5, bishop b5. Okay, yeah. So when I played h5, I didn't see that bishop b5 was now possible, because his queen is helping to defend f3. I just thought, well, he's going to be forced to bring his knight back, and then I can play g4 or e4 or something, and the pressure on f3 is tremendous, unbearable. But no, he confused the issue with bishop b5. Even if this move is objectively still better for black, it's a great practical try for white, because I mean, what other alternatives does he have? He has to do something to shake the status quo. So, and the main point is, like, if I take and he takes and I just grab this, then he has knight f6 check.
Check.
Would be the repercussion. So, don't want to do that. So I played queen e6, but I should have gone to d6. Yeah, because that avoids rook takes e5. Then after bishop takes e8, I can take on g4, and even though white's still up one minor piece, I have all these pawns and I'm threatening to take on f3, and also his bishop's hanging. So not surprising that this is considered winning for black. Yeah, so queen d6. But I panicked and played queen e6, and then rook takes e5, and all of a sudden white is doing very well. Yeah, queen takes f3. Okay, I thought this move was possible. The idea is that after knight takes f3, he has rook takes e8, and he's just going to be up a minor piece in the endgame with reduced material. So he's managed to win a pawn or two back. And I still do have 3 pawns for the piece, but I think this light square bishop, the two bishops working together, will be able to keep those pawns under wrap. Like, now I have to save my knight, and the computer thinks that white is probably close to winning. So queen takes f3, paradoxically, might even be stronger than what he did. Yeah, it actually could be dangerous for him now. It's a weird position. If he's going to move his king, he should go back with his king, like king f1 probably. Much safer. On h3, he's at the mercy of my rook swinging to h6. Yep, and now fortunately for me, he just played queen takes f3 and g4 check. It's game over. But even still, he actually has some difficulties if he can't eliminate this pawn.
Check.
Yeah, and the rest wasn't that interesting. So, all right, very interesting game against A. Guerrero, and score another win for the Nimzo Indian. Hope you guys enjoyed that game. I'll be back tomorrow with another Blitz game. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.